All right, welcome to the Major Vibe Show.
Good morning.
We are back for episode 3.
Did we name this the Major Vibe Show last week? Or is this new?
No, we decided afterward.
Oh, you didn't even introduce it. You just dry ripped, welcome to the Major Vibe Show.
No, that's what it is. Look, for 2 episodes now on Apple and Spotify and YouTube, it says the Major Vibe Show.
Oh, okay, fair. Well, welcome to the official Major Vibe Show. This is episode 3, but it's episode 1 of the actual Major Vibe Show.
How does it feel?
It feels good. We have a vibe score. That's the whole thing of our business. We always talk about vibes, and we didn't want our podcast, 1, to be called a podcast, and 2, to be called the Pear Podcast or whatever. It
was lame.
Yeah.
I think
we're here to bring you major vibes while still,
yeah.
I don't know.
So we just decided on the logo. Let's talk briefly about the logo because it was really ugly. We had to apply to Apple Podcasts. It takes a few days to,
I didn't do any of that stuff.
To get it going. And I was like, oh shit, we said it's coming out Monday, but I haven't been approved yet. I didn't even submit it yet. Friday.
Okay.
Classic. And I needed an image. And so I tried to make the Major Vibes artwork. You said it was hideous.
Yeah.
But then you sent me one and it was just as bogus. Long story short, we had to upload something and it looked terrible. It had elements of this, but in word art. It looked like word art before the circle and when it was just Major Vibes wide.
Oh yeah, but when you sent me that last logo there, I pretty much sent you this.
Yeah, and you did a great job.
Well, no, I don't even think it's a good logo. I just think it's better than what we had. I don't think any official logo or anything we have right now is going to stay, but it's the best we could do with what we got. So we're going to...
Well, I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's greght.
I'm all juiced up about it. Major Vibe Show with Pear. I feel like we paid a lot of money for this. It feels expensive to me. I said it it feels like Disney.
Yeah, you know? To me it doesn't. To me it's like an old hack of a logo. To you it's like the best thing ever.
Yo, I'm so easily satisfied.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
Happy.
You're the most easily impressed. I'm the least easily impressed.
I'm so excited. I'm like, look, it has the circle, our new vibe score thing.
Yeah, with a gradient and all.
With a gradient.
Fuck, we put a gradient in there it's 1996.
Why'd you choose this gradient though? It's not even the gradient that matches our Purple Days.
Because it felt better. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
It felt better. It didn't have to be our corporate colors. It had to pop.
And it most certainly pops. And the background is the background of our new app.
Yeah, or the Pear app, but the updated version.
Okay,
from this angle, it just looks like a black background, but it's the blue.
Yeah, you got it. All right, so let's start today with the vibe scores.
Okay.
Let's start with your vibe score today, my brother.
Okay, let's talk about my vibe score. Let me go browse it. So today my vibe score is 95. That's really good. Yesterday my vibe score was 98, but we'll just talk about today. So here we got 6 hours 39 of sleep, which is not the greatest, but my restorative sleep was super good. It was over 50% of my...
What was your total restorative?
The total restorative was 348. My average is 305.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So a lot of REM sleep. I was much higher in my deep sleep than usual. I don't know. The Whoop told me that today. So sleep quality, 90%. Restorative sleep ratio is great. Stress tolerance is 99. So that means I have absolutely no body stress today and I should be running pretty chill and smooth and sharp.
So how do you feel compared to your vibe score?
I feel good. Do I feel like 95? I think so. I think I felt good, energetic. Yesterday I felt like 98 for sure because my vibe scores have been weak. If you look at the last week here, 82, 80, 80, 69, 82, then 98 and 95. So it's been hard for me to get my scores up. However, it's a direct correlation with sugar, as we always say. So I was eating more sweets than usual. But now I was like, you know what? We're done here. Let's get back to basics. Plus, it's been boiling hot. So now I'm doing probably 2 or 3 hours of walking or jogging or something outside per day. Whereas in the Arizona summer months, I'm pretty much inside as often as possible and moving as little as possible.
It's too damn hot.
It's just too hot here. So now for the rest of the year, there's that. More strain equals better sleep. And yeah, trying to keep myself busy at night.
Great. So those are amazing scores. You absolutely crushed it 2 days in a row, 98 and then 95. We'll go on to mine today. Big 73.
I laughed when I saw your vibe score because I've been telling you, sorry to cut you off, but I've been telling you to watch a particular movie that you can't watch with your wife because it's not her kind of movie. So you had to watch it late. And I was shocked that you were up so late last night when we had a podcast this morning. And it's funny because last night I ordered a bunch of my favorite like Greek chocolate and I have a lot of it.
Caprice Classic?
Yeah. And I wanted to eat it so bad. I had a couple last night, but not enough to mess me up. But as I was about to the truth is last night, I wanted to smoke weed. I wanted to smoke weed and eat chocolate. I like to do that. I don't do it as often as I want.
You don't do it enough.
I don't do it enough. I don't do it as often as I want to because I know if I'm going to smoke weed and relax, I'm going to get hungry and I'm going to want to eat everything. And I was like, I have a podcast to shoot tomorrow. Not only do I have to feel good and perform, but I actually have to look good. I can't wake up all woozy and swollen and
you
weird.
look really hot today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, actually I ran into my barber at a red light this morning and he said, it's time to come visit me.
Time for a haircut. Okay. So how did that connect to the chocolate and the weed? Because you got a great score. What's the correlation here?
The correlation was I saw your bad score. And even though I wanted to do bad things last night, I knew I had to be up and sharp today.
But you didn't indulge too much.
So I did not indulge. I had like 3 tiny little pieces of chocolate at like 6 o'clock is fine. But you were up till like 11:30 watching a friggin' gory body horror movie. So
yes. So back to my vibe score and we'll tap onto that 73 vibe score. Why is that? Well, I only had 5 hours, 46 of sleep. Okay. My restorative was 56%, which is not bad. 3 hours, 14 minutes. So I got my restorative. My stress tolerance, 68.
That's low.
That's low. So body stress, nervous system stress, a little higher than definitely normal today. Resting heart rate is average. But my HRV, man, 62. My average HRV is 80.
Okay.
Which means a lot of the time I'm over that, right?
Yeah.
It's been 16 or 17 days I haven't smoked weed. And my HRV has been tanking. When I smoke weed and I'm super chill and relaxed, I don't even do that much. My HRV is like 80, 90, 100. I'm super relaxed. Since I stopped smoking weed and I'm eating cleaner and better, my HRV is in the toilet. So like the downtrend is crazy.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Like I said to you on the phone yesterday, what does it take 30 days to form a habit, right? So you're at 16 or 17 days. So you're still going to feel weird, especially if it's something like that. To get it out of the system, get it out of the mental system.
So also not going to lie, I've been really working a lot with editing clips and podcast stuff and Pear stuff in general. Mm-hmm. And I've been spending like 15 hours a day in front of the screen.
True.
So that's definitely been bodying my HRV.
Yeah, it's not healthy for
which is not good. So, but yesterday I hit the gym. I ate well. I finished eating early. I did a lot of Stairmaster to really push my VO2 max. Just push
Zone 4?
Push the heart. Yeah. Yeah. Zone 4, Zone 5.
Okay. I don't think I've ever hit that.
And I didn't want to watch the movie last night. I did not want to watch The Substance, which we'll talk about later, or maybe we'll segue into that. Because I was feeling really relaxed and I'm like, you know what? I'm really working on my damn HRV. I want to get my vibe score up. And you kind of pressured me into it. You're like, yesterday, you quoted the great Donnie Deakis. You said, yesterday you said tomorrow.
Yeah, I did.
About watching The Substance.
I've been telling him for a week to watch this movie.
And
he did.
And I watched it and I stayed up till 11:30. Another thing we've realized here is that when I go to bed later than usual, all my metrics are off. I don't sleep as well because I tend to wake up at the same time regardless of when I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So my sleep is always shorter if I go to bed later. My HRV always takes a hit if I go to sleep later than I normally do, even if I didn't eat like 6 hours before bed yesterday, but it didn't do shit for me.
I think it's especially because you went it's not like you went to bed 30 or 40 or an hour later than usual. You went to bed like a couple hours later than you
I
normally do.
go to bed at like 9:30.
And what do they say? Your circadian rhythm, like that, to keep that going well, like the number one thing is consistent bedtime and wake time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I trashed that yesterday, and I watched a very high intensity horror movie.
Yeah, that thing just kept your heart going the whole time.
I was doing like my breathing, my like 6 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or 4 in, 6 out, something like that.
It's the guy who also takes his blue blocking glasses to the movie theater and to concerts.
I don't do that anymore.
Good.
But I watched The Substance with blue blocking glasses on.
Okay.
And the vibe was great.
Yeah. Everything looks really red and orange for about 5 minutes. Then you kind of get used to it.
So 73, how do I feel? I feel about a 73 today.
Okay.
I feel, when you wake up early for a flight, you have that hollow feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that hollowness.
Cool.
And so that's that. And the movie itself was high octane. It's stressful. My stress was at like 2 to 3.
While you were watching?
While I was watching the movie. Okay. Stress on Whoop. It measures your like heart rate from baseline. We should
be able to grab that and like put it on the screen, like your stress level, which you can go back and take the screenshot.
I don't know if Whoop exports that.
No, you screenshot it.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, for the podcast.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about within Pear.
No. Like on the podcast. Like,
yeah, we'll put it on the TV.
When this is on YouTube, we can grab your stress meter throughout the time you watch the movie. Yeah. Actually, that might be a thing too. Why my scores have been like, I've been below average for like 3 weeks now. Not only due to like having a little chocolate, which is like not even a lot before bed. Maybe it is due to changing my schedule and my sleep times to be later. Before I was going to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm trying to push it to like 10:30. So maybe by doing that, I think for sure it messes my sleep and my HRV a little bit.
And I think the seasonal change was so drastic here in Arizona. It went from boiling hot, not to cold, but to like substantially cooler.
It went from 95-degree mornings in 3 days to 60-degree mornings, which I love.
Yeah, and I'm definitely feeling that. It feels like, in the fall, I always think of the Arcade Fire, going back to school. Summer's over, the change of season happens, and there's almost like this nostalgic depression feeling that happens when the season changes.
I love it. And
I've been feeling that lately in my household. I know Eula's been feeling it.
Okay.
It's a weird thing.
But I took out Mom yesterday. We went for coffee and then we went to get some stuff at a storage unit for her house or whatever. And it was nice to see her out and about wearing a sweater. And she's like, we only went like 20 minutes from her home. She's like, wow, I haven't been out this far in like 6 months.
It's so good for her.
Yeah, but that fall feeling, being able to like wear pants and a hoodie, we haven't been able to do that since April. So I know. Like I'm wearing kind of pants today.
Half pants. Full pants.
3/4 pants. I cut them. But anyway, the fall, the vibes, this change of seasons, the full moon was a pretty crazy one. Apparently I'm not that guy, but
Sweet Yule's into it.
Yeah, she's into it. A lot of my friends are into it. They tell me, this month you got to do this ritual. Go write some shit on a paper that you want to get rid of and burn it. I do it sometimes when I'm reminded. I do it. But I'm not like the active moon, Scorpio, sun guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's your moon? I have no idea.
Like to me, when someone, it's gonna be a good clip. When someone's like, they make an excuse for their shit behavior, and they're like, my moon is in Aries tonight. What the fuck are you talking about? Your moon is in Aries.
Yeah, I don't know, but I kind of get it, but I've never spent that much time in it.
Me neither. I overhear people saying it. I'm just like, man.
But in defense of that,
just get Perry. You'll be accountable.
Yeah. Just try to go to sleep early and don't fuck around on Instagram past 10 o'clock.
Oh, wait. Before we finish whatever we were saying, I'm very ADD today. A week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever the crazy Hurricane Helene, it's not Helen, it's Helene apparently. And then the one after, Milton, I went on TikTok because I don't really go on TikTok, but I went in there to see all the live footage and the chaos because I don't trust what the news tells me. I like to see what the people are saying. Anyway, but after that, it's kind of been in my algorithm where I get into bed and I'll scroll for a little bit and I'll look at TikTok, but TikTok to me is like the new conspiracy place in a good way and a bad way, because there are some great truths in there, but there is a lot of nonsense in there.
You never know what's real and not.
They say like, oh, this person hasn't been seen in a few weeks. What are they up to? Anything to do with Diddy? And they have that like eerie, creepy song. And they like, it makes the whole vibe. It makes you like want to believe whatever they're saying. But so much of it is horseshit. I'm not saying all the conspiracies are horseshit. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah, but there's no way to know. Like there's no way to know anything ever.
I'm going to say this here. People might hate me, but the argument, and I'm not saying I am taking sides here, but the argument against flat earth versus the round earth, there are amazing arguments for the flat earth and there are amazing arguments for the round earth. And the scientists on both sides who know way more than I do, they can say everything they want to sway us to believe whether it's flat or round. Until I can physically go up into the sky as high as I can and see it for myself, I cannot justifiably make an answer, because I don't believe the proof because it's just so good on both sides. And that's with so many things. It's with the conspiracies too. There's always amazing points on both sides. I think that's what keeps confusion and debate going on in the world, because no one's actually right. It's like, what do you believe more?
Yeah. And on your point, let's say with flat earth versus round earth, you and me have really no scientific empirical background to be able to know this. Like we're the average layman.
We're the average guy who just watches and does research and so tries to have formulated an opinion.
And research is stretching it.
Yeah.
When you don't know anything like we do,
or like we don't,
and people are making arguments on either side. I think what you're saying is both sides have compelling arguments. If you don't really know stuff, like some people who are so against flat earth, who are like science people who are like, I could tell you why the earth is round right now just by doing this measurement. We don't know that stuff.
No, exactly. I don't have the intelligence or the
knowledge base
or the knowledge to agree or disagree. Whereas I just say, hey, I'm down to hear everyone's opinion. Until I go up to the sky, I will not give an answer, because I cannot.
Yeah, we don't know.
I have not seen it.
But that applies with every conspiracy ever.
100%.
There's so many, and there's a lot of people who are just chasing clout, as the kids would say, where they can just say whatever they want and there's no way to really prove anything.
No, and I think that's the worst part of social media, is that anyone can say anything they want, and if they are confident enough to be convincing, then they're right.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I've experienced a lot of things in certain domains, like in business or my own personal health journey or all these things, but never have I been so sure of anything that I would go out and tell people, this is what you got to do and this is what the truth is.
Oh, no, for sure not.
So for anyone who has absolute truth, conviction in their statements, to me is by definition full of shit and untrustworthy.
Oh, for sure. If someone is so stuck in their own ways and refuses to even hear another side, I'm not going to be friends with that person, because they don't have the capacity to think.
Yeah. For example, we can't see Wi-Fi. How could you explain Wi-Fi to someone from 50 years ago or 20 years ago? There's the light spectrum, like infrared and what is it? The other one, ultraviolet.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only see, in terms of the whole spectrum of light, like this much.
Oh yeah.
Most of what happens in the world is completely invisible to us. We're like a dumb species not dumb, just we have enough input sensory to eat, reproduce, and not get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Everything beyond that is beyond us. So
it's funny.
That's why I'm open to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I also know fundamentally that I know nothing.
Yes. Going by that, I saw I think it was a reel or a meme or something, and they were saying, it was like a guy was like, one guy was saying, oh, if I went back in time 100 years or 200 years, I'd be so rich. I'd bring all this stuff. And then the guy who answers like, what rich? I don't know how anything works. I just use these things. What, I'm going to create Wi-Fi, or I'm going to create electricity and start making a power grid? No.
You're going to make microchips?
He's like, I'm going to be just as useless in those times as I am right now.
Exactly.
Because although I have all these things, I didn't invent them. I don't know how they work. And then even like me, I'm like, man, I'm 34. I still barely understand gravity concept. It still makes no sense to me.
I know what you mean.
Guys, like, I don't even know how the clouds are made.
But see, someone who says like, if I'd go back in time, I'd be like so rich. Okay, maybe you can invest in certain things that hit.
Yes.
But if you go way back, you'd have to create a bunch of things, or you'd be.
If you went back 500 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure living 500 years ago, you'd have to be so fucking hard. Like, just think about our grandparents, how hard they are.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just like 2 generations.
Man, I watched the weirdest YouTube videos. It was some guy, I don't know, he got like 2 million views the other day. And is a British guy, white British guy, just traveling around China. And he's trying to show his followers that there's a big stigma against China and whatever. But he's like, man, like, these people are really good people. They're really nice people. He's like, forget the government. Like, there's a lot of other stuff other than the, I don't know, 200 people who run the world, the Chinese world. And damn, what was my
You were talking about the guy who went to China and he was showing that the people of China are really great people.
Yeah.
Despite their government. Which in every country you are, they're always going to say the other guys are shit.
Yeah. There's
it's
always
like
nice
simple,
people.
low vibe stuff.
No, but I don't know why I got into that for a specific reason. So I was watching YouTube. I was watching this guy. Oh yeah, that's what he was saying. So he snuck in to spend a night sleeping in a forbidden part of the Great Wall of China. We like went in after hours, set up a tent, the whole thing. And he's like, and he woke up the next day and he's looking and the sun is rising and it's beautiful. You're like on the Great Wall of China. He's like, it's so crazy. He's like, we have life so easy right now. He's like, the people that built this wall, he's like, 6,000 kilometers? They built this wall in these absolute horrible conditions in the highest mountains in China. This is insane. He's like, they had hard lives, these people. Generations and generations. You were born into building the wall. That was your life.
And you never saw the end of it.
He's like, and look at us complaining about these things. And he's like, I'm standing on the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, we're like sitting down like in a lazy boy, ordering Uber Eats, talking shit on Twitter while watching 14 shows.
And then you have me, a stupid kid. My dad brought me to the Great Wall of China when I was, I don't know, 18 or 19 or something. And I was just in like my first serious relationship. I was just texting my girlfriend the whole time. Like, we're on the Great Wall of China. And I don't even think I looked at it. I was just on my phone, like a Motorola Razr, just like,
yeah, ripping that data.
Oh,
and dad was so pissed at you.
It's like a $5,000 cell phone bill. This was like, when was the Olympics? Beijing?
2008?
Yeah, whatever. I was a kid. Yeah, so I got to go back there.
Yeah, but kids are kids. And you were in deep.
I was.
And you were not going to say.
I was in deep, pun intended.
Yes. I guess.
Well, I was in a relationship. I was in deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, so.
let's talk about the app for a little bit.
Okay, updates.
Like, we don't want this whole show to be about our business and our app, but we would like to give you updates in its infancy, right? So what are the updates?
So updates this week are, we're still, Carson, our developer, our gifted youth, our Gen Z icon of the future, is working on the new design. So what that means is he's implementing the designs that we created. So he's making the pictures we drew functional and the best possible experience.
Yes.
So the new homepage with your new vibe score, with your 30-day view, with the ability to add your favorites to your homepage so that when you log in, you can see, oh, there's Mom and there's Eula and there's Dre and there's Trin and there's all those people. The new profile page, because that's a minimum requirement that we need for a social or a networking thing. So that's what he's working on. And this, probably by the end of this week, we'll be able to use that new version. Major fail, kind of. I was a little preemptive on when we could roll this out. As usual, I set too crazy of a schedule. Because
when you set a schedule, I don't even.
Yeah,
I pretend it's not there. I'm just like, how about we just get it done when it's done? But I think getting a schedule gets things moving.
Yeah, it gets things moving.
You get things moving. If I don't set a date of some sort, nothing will get done.
Yeah, of course. And so we were integrating Apple. So by the time you watch this, we'll probably have Apple beta testers on.
Oh yeah.
Garmin was getting finished, but then I said, we need to get this new UI set up.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on this week in development.
And we also wanted the new look and feel of the app to be ready for when we're doing our investor meeting, so we can actually show them in real time what we've built, what we've developed, how it works.
Elon Musk said the best thing you can have to present to investors is a working model.
Yeah.
And we've had a working model for a long time, but we're taking it to a new level now where it actually will look beautiful and function beautifully. And very soon we'll have the ability to have users invite other users and come into the
ecosystem,
the beta ecosystem. And that's really exciting. So although I'm a little disappointed that we missed our deadline, I updated everyone in the newsletter this Monday. We're getting a baseline of functionality where we'll be able to go from 20 to 50 to 100 to like a few thousand pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we're making sure to focus. Focus has been the big thing for me because I spent so much time fucking around with the podcast and the clips and this and that. And then we were talking about the gamification and all these things. And it's like, whoa. We got to focus here. I got to focus. I got to steer the ship in terms of development. So what is everything we're doing accomplishing two things? That's what it's got to be. Is it accomplishing getting new users and giving them a good experience? And is it accomplishing getting investors? If the features that we're working on fall out of that directly,
because that is the prime focus right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, let's say the feed and posts and all these things like that, or the promise of creating groups, that is after we have users. So we can't be focusing on groups too much or the feed before we have the baseline of getting people on.
Can we get people on? Do the different devices all work well without problems? And does everything else on the app work? After that, then we can...
Yeah, so we're still building a really solid foundation. The fact that we use this...
And the beta testing is going very well too.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point, I think we got another week or so till the new update is live, and then we'll probably bring in another 10 users. I mean, it's a very small pool, but we need it to be small.
Well, there are hundreds of people who have signed up.
There's a lot of people on the wait list, but we're not bringing them in yet. We're very slowly but surely.
A surprise that I didn't know was that we are going to be bringing on Apple users much earlier than expected, which is great.
We thought it would be months away, right?
Yeah, we thought it may potential, not years away, but like many months away, because that wasn't our focus at all.
Yeah.
With Apple, we're getting, like, the integration's been in testing now for 10 days. Like, we're running through it. And what we're seeing is the only thing they bring in HRV weird. They only take 3 samples per night.
Oh.
Where Whoop and Oura is like multiple, like every minute or every couple of minutes. So there's a huge sample size. And so the average makes sense of the night. Whereas in Apple, it's 3, they're spread out, and it's like 14, 190, and 40. So it's day to day, it's been an unreliable metric. So we have to create a layer, a calculation on top to normalize it. And long story short,
you're going real technical now.
Yeah, I'm going real deep.
Yeah, enough.
Yeah, useless.
Yeah. Now, what was I going to say?
Well, just explaining it to you, because the people who are watching this potentially will be interested in it. But I know Apple probably is going to release a watch. Their data is only going to get better.
That's what I was going to ask. Carson he bought the newest, best Apple Watch to test. So he's using the newest, best, and he's still having HRV.
Well, they're not issues. It's just like that's the way they do it.
That's the way Apple does it.
Like,
but
resting heart rate, it's all throughout the night. It pulls.
Okay. Anyway, those devices, everything's just going to get better. Every device is slightly different, and our job is to pull as much data as we can to create your vibe score and everything, so that we can bring everyone together.
Yeah, and the most important thing is we can get lost in the details of algorithms and stuff. And I say algorithms is very loose. I don't know if I'm capable of algorithms, but as long as it serves its function, we want to know that the vibe score is optimized if you won the night. If you didn't eat too late, if you didn't drink alcohol, if you slept at your normal time or whatever, you'll get a good score. So can we accomplish that? Can we give you a good view of that with the vibe score? That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
So as long as we are accomplishing that goal, we don't have to get too crazy with the details.
No.
As long as it gives you a good picture. If you had 40 beers, is the vibe score telling you that there's something off?
Yeah.
Is it yes or no? And that's all that matters. And like we always say, the devices go deep. They tell you your skin temperature. They tell you all that stuff. They have their stuff. Ours is the simple one. It's a simple one you can compare with everybody else.
Yeah. I was thinking though, like, because you've been talking about measuring vibes for years and years and years, like 10 years. Now, so we have Pear. We created a vibe score, kind of gives a good picture of what your overall vibe is. And now I'm just trying to think how we can go deeper in that. Not necessarily using wearables, but it's like later on, how can we more accurately measure your vibe or your aura? As the kids, the Gen Zs are talking about aura these days. It's like, how can we measure your frequency, your aura, your vibration even further? How can we take that to even another level?
So,
and I don't know.
The easy answer would be a vibe measuring device.
Yes.
That instead of a wearable, it's that measures your sleep metrics. You just have an aura meter that's just measuring it, and you can adjust based on the data that you get from it. I don't have that device. We don't have that device yet. But ultimately, that would be the easiest way, because the best input is no input. If you didn't have to wear anything and you could just step on your scale in the morning or look in the mirror and then it tells you, that would be the easiest way. We're using the wearables now because it's a
technology we have.
It's a technology we have, and it's a proxy of if your stats are like this, your vibe is probably like this. That's where we are now. But more importantly, were you talking about potentially adding more layers into it?
I think
like a glucose monitor or a...
Oh yeah, I think eventually the more technology and health wearable technology we can plug into Pear, this the whole point of Pear is being able to do all that stuff. Yeah, that's a goal, but no, it's more like, is there something that
Neuralink would be sick.
Yeah, is there something we can invent or create, or something someone can create that measures your vibration, your frequency, your aura to an even more level,
more accurate level
that we've not seen? And I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, because we're early on in the game. Like, we're like just using this as it's in its infancy. But if you could have a live aura meter all day long, and based on your interactions, you can see how you're dimmed. Based on certain activities, you can see in real time how it changes, how it's affected. And that would be like the ultimate monitor to be able to really optimize yourself like crazy.
Yeah, I want to factor in even I felt great last night because I was walking my dog. It was like 6:30 p.m. or something. The sun was setting, and then it got dark, but I have all these trails around my house, and I can go into different neighborhoods that the trails bring you in. So instead of going through my normal neighborhood to go home, I went to the one next door, near me. There's a bit bigger houses, a little bit nicer. And I'm walking Lando, and I see an older woman, probably 70 years old. And she's walking back from her mailbox, and she says, "Oh, is that a little Cavalier dog?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "I've got a little red one inside. Would you like to see her?" Oh. And I was like, "Oh, this lady looks so nice and lonely." So I was like, "Yeah, I want to see her." And my dog is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and they come in 4 different colors. And this lady had the ruby one, the red one, which is the most rare, and to me, it's the cutest one. So I said, "Bring her out." Anyway, the lady goes in, and she's walking slow and stuff like that. And she brings out, and the dog is so cute. She's 10 years old. She's this big, and she's all shy. And she was just sitting, and the old lady, it was as if she was hadn't spoken to a person in a long time. So she the old lady sat down on her driveway, her butt on the driveway, got all cozy, and we were just talking to the dog. I sat down with that old lady for 45 minutes until 8 o'clock or something, or 7:30. I was sitting down with this old lady, And she did bring up a few times her late husband or whatever. So I was like, but it felt nice to me to just sit there and talk to her because I could tell she was just having a really nice time talking to even a stranger because it's like mom. Like who does mom talk to, right?
I know.
She's moved to and this lady just moved to Arizona a year ago. She moved to a new city, doesn't know a lot of people. Her husband's dead. She sold her husband's business. So she made a shitload of money.
Okay.
So she was stacked and, but lonely. And I could tell she was kind of struggling. She wasn't like, she was lean and stuff, but her bones were probably
She was
frail.
a little brittle.
Yeah. So then like,
imagine you can measure the result of that interaction.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then like after that, she's like, "Oh, it's getting dark. I'm gonna have to go." So, and I helped her up. I said, "Hey, do you need help up?" So I like helped her up, and she was really thankful. She gave me a hug and everything. And then I left, and I was like, "Man, that was nice. I'm happy I sat with her." I'm like,
and it's probably not an energy like you didn't give away your energy. You were probably just as optimized as she was.
yeah, I think we both felt good. Her because a young person paid attention to her and was nice to her and played with her and her dog, and for me, it was being good to someone who wants it or needs it or just having a nice interaction.
Felt good.
Yeah, so maybe that also contributed to my high vibe score.
I would say absolutely.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. And I think this
because social interactions, we can't really measure those, but social interactions, just in my own personal data, not drunken social interactions, but like human good social interactions at night, always increased my HRV and therefore increased my recovery score. And now that we have Pear, my vibe.
I totally feel you. And that's the good part of the vibe score is that even though we can't measure certain things, we can kind of infer them. And I've been not socially interacting for about a week. My HRV has been tanking. I've been on the computer. I've been in front of my screen and I'm seeing the result in my vibe. Like it's actually going lower.
Yeah. Keep going.
Someone asked me this morning, does your app track nutrition? And I said, no, it doesn't. But if you're eating poorly, your vibe score will be reflected by your nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to track steps. We don't have to track your nutrition because your quality of sleep, your overnight health data will be impacted by your behaviors. So that's why it's such an amazing metric because you don't have to like calculate your stuff or input anything. It's just like live your life. And you'll get the result in the morning of how you lived your life yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
And so, what was the thing you were just about to interject with? Because I have a segue I want to make. Why are we obsessed with tracking the vibe score? Right? Like, why do we want to track this? Why do we want to track? Why do we want to have a measurement device for your aura and all that stuff?
I'll tell you this. I watch golf. I play golf. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I'm going to answer your question in a minute. I noticed that in the last month or so, I haven't been golfing even close to as much as I normally do. And I'm not a gym guy. I don't love to like do sports and stuff. Like I love to play golf and I'm not playing golf. And my vibe score has not been good. And I know a lot of the days that I do play golf, I get my strain up, I'm outside, I'm in nature, I'm being social, and it's fun, and I'm challenging myself. I haven't been doing that. We've been more focused on the business, on setting up, on the design. So we're working a lot, we're stressed more. So a lot of these things are contributing. Whereas I'm sure if I played golf more once or twice a week, even if it's a half game, my vibe would be better for sure.
I absolutely agree with that.
And then going into that is why do we like measuring our vibe score and measuring our stuff? It reminded me of there's these golf memes where it's like, let's say you've never played golf. I take you to the course for the first time and you don't care for golf. You're just like, okay, I'm just down to hang out with the boys. I take you've never hit. I kind of show you how you swing the club. You hit a ball and it's a beautiful shot. It's a pure shot. You don't even know what a pure shot is. You don't even know what a shot is. You don't know what a good shot is. But it was amazing. It was beautiful. And you came close to the pin. Right there.
Sold.
You are chasing that feeling. You are chasing that pure ball flight. You're chasing that getting into the hole under par, That's what you're chasing. With the Oura Ring or the watches or the devices with all the scores, when I wake up and I have a 98%, I feel really good. My health tracker picked up how I'm feeling, how my body is feeling. And I'm feeling really good. So that's why you always want to chase it because you're like, oh man, I have to, if I do this, this, and this, I will get this score and feel this good, right? I didn't have that measure ability before. So I just lived my life normally. Now I know that if I live my life a certain way, I'm going to feel a certain way in the morning. And when I feel a certain way in the morning, every single aspect of my life is better. Relationships, family, friends, my dog, myself, everything. So that's why I think we chase it, because we get the score and we could finally correlate this body score to something. And we can tweak it, we can improve it, and we can just keep chasing that great feeling.
Absolutely.
And we really, the reason why people push that so hard on others too, to get into it, is because when you start to feel really good and you see how other people live their lives, you want them to feel good too. You're like, what are you doing? It's so easy to feel good and to like just have more transparency and accountability, because the more you're transparent, the more you're educated, the more you are accountable, actually, the more guilt-free junk you can have, or fun you can have, or you can have a blackout night if you want to, because you're in control of your body. You know what your body can handle, what it cannot handle, how far, like if you want to go and have a night out with the girls or the guys.
Blacking out is probably not where you want to go.
No, but what I'm saying is you could do that every now and then, and it will not change anything for you. It'll ruin your next day, but it won't really impact your life.
No, and you can
have the device,
moments.
Exactly,
right?
and
you
that's
can budget
about it. Choose your moments, and you can budget your body fun technically.
Exactly,
which we've never been able to do.
Yeah, because living constantly in I don't know, when you don't have the visibility, it's hard. Like it's hard to budget your finances when you don't know what's coming in, you don't know how much you have left, you don't know what your expenses are. Mm-hmm. But if you budget yourself, you're able to make decisions, and you're able to plan and choose your moments and have an even better time if you have guardrails and you know what's going on.
Yeah. I read a cool thing this morning. Maybe it's political, but to me it's not. It kind of is, but it's not. Robert Kennedy Jr. made a post about like President Kennedy back in the day was at a fast food place. And he was saying like fast food is like a part of American institution, right? Like it is part of our culture. And he was saying like, it doesn't mean, just because it's fast food doesn't mean it has to be unhealthy and bad. He's like, potatoes aren't bad. Hamburgers aren't bad. Bread is not terrible. He's like, it's just what they put it in. He's like, back in the 70s, we were told that saturated fats were terrible for you and they were going to kill you. So we replaced them with the seed oils that were better for you. But now 30, 40, 50 years later, we're learning that seed oils actually are slowly killing you from the time you're starting to eat them. So he's like, back in the day, McDonald's fries used to be made with beef tallow. Now they're made with, forever until the 70s. Now they're made with seed oils because beef tallow was going to give you a heart attack and seed oils were good for you. But now they're realizing the opposite. How great would that be? And like, I don't not go to McDonald's because it's high calorie food. I don't give a shit about high calorie food. I'll eat all the high calorie food. I stop myself from going to McDonald's because it's made with the lowest quality of food. But I love McDonald's and I love McDonald's fries and I want to eat them every day.
It tastes amazing.
If McDonald's was made with no antibiotics and hormones and with tallow or something instead of a seed oil, an avocado oil or something, obviously it'll be more expensive, but they can figure out the economics of it. So many more people would go, I think. Because the unhealthy people would continue to go because it changes nothing for them. But all the healthy people like you and me who will not go to, I'll go get a healthier burger somewhere, but I want the taste of the McDonald's. If I can get the taste of the McDonald's without the bad ingredients, I'd be so happy.
I know. But I agree, for sure, I agree. But also, if we're talking about vibe, if we're talking about having a read or a budget on our fun and our this and that, and our baseline is healthy, having a one McDonald's meal a week is going to do absolutely nothing. You can have rubber in it, and it will not be that bad for you.
100%. What I'm saying is, for you and me, it doesn't change anything, but there are people who eat that 5 days a week or 4 days a week. And if it's not McDonald's, it's the other one, right? So if they started to make those things healthier, the world would be healthier because most of the world eats McDonald's and those types of foods, right? So for you and I, no difference because we eat it seldom.
Yeah. So I think that lends back into the vibe score and the reason why we wanted to do this, and it taps into this. If you say that you having a vibe score and you having a goal of hitting a good one, and it adjusts your behavior so that you can not only get a good score, but that good score actually results in you feeling good and going into the world on your best foot.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea behind the vibe score and tracking your vibe and tracking everything is that on a global level, if there are more people who are waking up feeling better because they had a vibe score or had some incentive to vibe more, the amount of abundance, the amount of creativity that would be unlocked in the world would lead us into the place of flying cars.
Yeah.
The whole idea behind Pear and the whole mission is we wanted to raise the vibe per capita. So what does that mean? If we can reduce a little bit of the stress in the world by 1%, 2%, 3%, what would
tremendous.
the productive output be for the world? And that's the whole idea, the whole conscious capitalism aim of Pear is for us to build this business, build a fucking $1 billion business that proves that if you prioritize vibes within your organization and your life, it will lead you to a better flow state that would lead you to a more profitable business that actually creates a product
that helps people,
that makes
is
the
meaningful.
people who consume it, makes their lives better. Capitalism is awesome because it provides products and services that the ecosystem requires. But there are also a lot of companies that exist that actually, if you measured how their vibe of their customer base is, it would be
in the negatives,
dwindling. Like, we sell this product and we have this many monthly users and this and that, but the effect on their lives is destructive.
Yes.
What we're proposing
It's the opposite.
is that the future with the vibe, if it measured, not only would your business be more profitable, but the world would be more abundant because the people would be impacted in a way that made them more productive, more kind, more conscious, and would lead to like expansion like never before seen.
Yep.
Like, that's the huge moonshot goal.
What you're proposing here, sir, is if we raise the conscious vibration of planet Earth by 1 to 3%, will that allow us to enter the Galactic Federation of Planets? Or is that a topic for another day?
Well,
Does anyone know what that really even is?
Yeah, well-
is it even something? I don't know.
if that were to exist,
Yes.
I believe the state of the world that we're in right now matches the consciousness level of the world.
yeah.
If we have a
Chaotic.
bunch of chaos and absurdity and ridiculousness, and some parts of the world have amazing prosperity and beauty, and other parts of the world are constantly
rotten
in
flames.
disaster, it just I see Earth's consciousness of its people as, and people have said this before, as teenagers. Our consciousness level is teenager,
Yeah.
but a teenager has the ability to light a house on fire, right? But as a teenager gets older, you start to hone in yourself, you start to relax, you start to have a little more discipline and more foresight, and we're entering a new age. Like, we are getting more conscious. Things are coming to light. People are becoming more aware, and we are becoming more conscious. And I think that Pear is just a company that exists at a time where there is a need for that.
I think Pear is a great transition, or a great tool to transition between like your older, or I mean your younger life, going into your more awake and new self, kind of your new conscious self.
I totally agree with you.
Because it's a hard transition for a lot of people to do, and that's why they're scared, because they're in it alone, they're in it here. So,
and it applies for people who want to use Pear, but it also applies like to the world.
yeah.
And for the fun example of the Galactic Federation of Planets, this, sci-fi concept that there's like all these alien species out there in the world, but Earth hasn't yet reached a consciousness level where they can interact with us yet, because we haven't graduated yet.
Exactly.
We're still stupid kids.
Yeah, so if we can raise that vibe.
If we can raise that vibe, we can do that. But also imagine what the world would be like if there was 1% less consumption and 1% more production. What could happen on the planet in terms of creation of, like, we have all these problems. We have people talk about global warming, whether you believe it or not. There's issues in the world. There's wars. There's countries battling over territories because territories have natural resources, and everyone's battling over the pie.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could unlock something that creates more abundance for everyone, then we're not going to be arguing about territorial stuff like dogs.
No.
That's the whole idea. And that's why it's fun to create a company. It's fun to put the way you live into an app, but it's also fun to have a goal that if your business actually works out, it has the opportunity to like unlock a new level of reality.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to say that because I truly believe it.
Well, and you live it. You live it in your life. I live it in my life, and we know tons of people that live it in their lives. So we just want to help spread the word and spread the vibe.
Yeah. Because I know personally, for you and for me, if what works for us on an individual level works for a group of people,
Mm-hmm.
it works for a company, it works for a country, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's the gist of it.
I like it. All right.
All right. So episode 3 in the can.
Episode 3, episode 4 next week.
Yeah.
That's all it.
All right. So what would the call to action be from our main sponsor, Pear, that pays us the big bucks to be here?
I don't know.
Sign up to the beta testing waitlist on pear.app. That's our website.
Yep.
You can also stream or watch the podcast from the links on pear.app.
Yep.
You can follow us on Instagram at pear.vibe.
Can I do the next part?
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell for more notifications.
I love that.
I never did that. I always wanted to do it.
And it just made me think of The Price is Right. Don't forget to have your pets spayed or neutered.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. We are done.
Thank you for watching. See you next week.